The Control of Tobacco Products and Electronic Delivery Systems Bill will be reintroduced to Parliament on Wednesday this week. It seeks to strengthen public health protection measures and repeal 1993's Tobacco Control Act. But some critics say it'll push consumers towards the harmful illicit market. The South African Informal Traders Alliance president, Rosheda Muller, joins us for more on this story. A very good afternoon to you, Rosheda. Thanks very much for your time. Presumably, when your organization said that you are opposed to the bill in its current form, presumably you are not objecting to everything or what the bill is essentially about. Is that correct?
Absolutely correct, but we have very serious concerns on the adverse impact on the informal trader. Good afternoon to you and to all the listeners, the viewers.
How exactly is this bill in the current form going to affect hawkers and spaza shop owners as you allege?
Well, you have to understand the informal sector very well. You know, our constituencies are mainly spaza shops and also the street traders. At every taxi rank, at every corner, in every market square, you'll find the street traders plying their trade. And a large majority of them are selling the single sticks and they're selling, you know, the legal cigarette product. So if the ban goes through, it means that the informal trader will not be allowed to sell the single stick, nor will they be allowed to display the cigarettes, which will definitely really vastly impact adversely on their daily sales, of which legal tobacco products are still a large commodity in our sector.
How else, though, do you think, the bill could do what it seeks to do without putting the businesses of these hawkers and informal traders at risk? Have you come up with any counter proposal?
Yes, we've come up with the fact that, bearing in mind that we are talking about the legal tobacco industry, we are talking about cigarettes that is sold legally, not the illicit, and I'd like to go to the illicit as well later on. But we are proposing that there is an exemption on the hawker. The hawker's customer is a passerby who takes, who wants 2 or 3 single cigarettes, who doesn't have the money for a whole packet. And if they are not allowed to do that, they will actually be jailed or found 10,000 rand, and could be arrested if they are found selling these single cigarettes and displaying their product. So we are asking for exemption from those 2 pointers. But I'd also like to talk about the grave impact the illicit trade and the drug trade is having on our communities, and not much is being done to pass bills on that. Thank you.
Would that be your only concern? In other words, the display and sale. Is that your only concern about the bill?
That is the 2 main concerns. We agree as a national movement that smoking is not good for your health. But we do believe that education should start very, very early in a child's life. In grade R already, they should be taught about the bad effects of cigarettes on health. However, selling the cigarette is not illegal. It is an impediment of not being able to sell the single and not being able to display your product that will very, very adversely affect our traders.
How, though, can, in your view, the legislators address your concerns, given that there are other people. For example, you have your vaping, people raising their own concerns. And is it not in the nature of, piloting legislation that it cannot please everybody?
Well, we are saying that as a huge sector that creates that we are actually alleviating unemployment, we're alleviating poverty, and we are saying that we are not being properly consulted. We have written from every province our submissions and from national, and even now, as late as 2 weeks ago, we sent a submission to the deputy president, and he has acknowledged it, but there has never been engagement around the table. I don't think that they have done proper consultation on the impact of employment within the informal economy.
But often when people say there hasn't been proper consultation, they usually mean that they are, in fact, disagreeing with what is being put on the table. That's not.
No. A couple of years ago, we actually went right up to the Department of Monitoring and Evaluation, and they acknowledged that they never really considered that we would be, wanting this proper engagements and collaboration, because we are an organized sector. And we need to represent our constituency throughout the country. It's not that we only disagree. We need to put forward dialogue that we can engage upon, like, for example, as I said earlier, the exemption. And remember, we don't have these fancy display cabinets that the formal business sector have. We are operating from the ground, from a table, from a box. And these things need to be taken into consideration, as many women are selling these single items and cigarettes to keep their children in school, to keep the food on the table. One needs to look deeply into the impact.
But, a government also has a responsibility of measuring 2.2 million informal traders' jobs against over 11 million South Africans who smoke.
Yes, I understand that, but we also need to realize, like we saw during COVID, that illicit cigarettes will soar and government will lose billions to the fiscus. So it is important that we partner, collaborate, talk to each other, and see how together we can resolve the issue on this ban and on those two specific points for the informal trader.
Rosheda Muller, thanks very much for your time. She, of course, heads the South African Informal Traders Alliance of South Africa.